boss wants me to stay late at work. This was the bane of my existence when I was in Korea. And I understand that some jobs in America will pressure you to do this as well. And so I think it's important to know what to think about this, especially if you're an Asian person or a person who is having a trouble because of this. In Korea, staying late is kind of the default expectation because performance and merit isn't really calculated by KPI or key performance indicators. It's calculated by the number of days you spend extra at work. And so in Korea, it used to be, I don't know right now because I haven't lived there in 10 years, very common for small company people to pull all-nighters all day, every day. There is no rest. What this leads to is nobody does anything, or they just like phone people and like just go do random things until like 4 p.m. And then at 4 p.m., that's when the work really starts. And then whenever they decide to wrap up, like at 9 p.m. or whatever, they need to decompress, right? And then so they drink, and then they come back to work the next day. Sometimes they don't even have time for that, so they order at the office and then eat dinner at the office and then continue working 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I don't know, sometimes 4 a.m., and then go home for like, I don't know, 1 hour to sleep and then come back. Now, I worked at a big company, right? And even there, the key performance indicator for who gets a promotion and like even the incentives are ranked. So in your team, somebody has to not get an incentive. Somebody has to get the top. So it's a very, very cutthroat world, right? And the metric that people got evaluated on was how many days did this person spend over time. That's super fucked up, right? Okay, but that's sort of the reason why I came to America, because I didn't want to participate in that life. But now knowing that even in America there tends to be that kind of implicit pressure, what to do in that case? What's important to think about is, yeah, when there's a bit of a pressure for you to stay late, you have to understand that it's your responsibility. Like, you don't have to comply with it, right? But given this pressure, you have to be willing to take the criticism that you are leaving early or on time or whatever. I hate that shit. But anyway, it's like this. You're going into a vegetarian restaurant, and if you really want meat, right? You can ask, hey, can I get some meat take up from the next venue and then eat it here? No, it's totally up to you because you're free to do that, right? Ask for that. But to expect that, of course, oh yeah, we can do it. Like, to expect that from a vegetarian restaurant with the party full of vegetarian people, it's kind of gonna be off, right? Or if you go to a Texas barbecue place with a bunch of carnivores and you happen to be vegetarian, you have to anticipate, of course, this is where the stress comes in. You have to anticipate that your request might not be well received. But here's the important part. Who cares? Right? And that's the hard part for people with timid, like shy personalities like me to get over, because we always want a way for us to be happy along with other people to kind of accept us. But when it comes time to choose between what I want and what they want, we want to satisfy both, but not every situation is going to work out like that, right? So one option for you is, if you have enough confidence and self-belief, you know what? Yep, you want that. I understand. But I value my happiness and longevity in this company, right? And if I start staying late, I think that will be impacted. So, I want to be happy working here. And that staying late will impact that, and I will not enjoy working here. So because I enjoy working here, I want to prioritize that. And that's a decision, rational decision you can make. But you have to understand when other people are like, oh, Billy, we were really hoping, and yeah, but it's okay. They can work without you, right? Because what happens if you quit? They're gonna figure something out, right? And what's better, you quitting without any notice or you coming in the next day? The latter is much more preferable until they find a replacement or whatever, right? Okay, so that's one way. And the second way is you measure the long-term and short-term benefits. And in my recent professional experience, about like 5 years ago, there was an opportunity to there was a request to work a little bit overtime. But guess what? I could charge overtime. I couldn't do that in Korea because how dare you, right? But I asked my manager, hey, if I'm working overtime, can I charge? Can I like fill out the timesheet as overtime? They're like, sure, cool. So now, I was trying to save up for a house. I need money, and I happen to have the time to do some overtime. Okay, and the project had a deadline, which is like, okay, nice short-term sprint that I can do. Boom, did that. Wasn't like as stress-free as I had imagined, but it's okay. I'm still working, and I was able to take care of that longevity, right? Because I understood this was a sprint, and actually, after that, when I saw that this was gonna be keeping on extended, I requested to not work on that project anymore. And then I found my happiness. Like, external conditions. That I simplified my life for me, right? So, it's up to you to choose for the enjoyment of your life and for the enjoyment of your employment there, right? But, if you find that long term, right? There can be directions of the company that change, and it doesn't necessarily have to align with your values, right? For example, Twitter was acquired by Elon Musk. But now, politics aside, you as a Twitter engineer might just not vibe with the direction that the company will now go. And this happens a lot with IPOs too, right? A lot of people enjoy working in private companies that doesn't have the like big company kind of status, because people like that sense of tight knit teams instead of this like org chart of like I don't know who's anyone, right? So when IPOs happen, that's a company's decision, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to comply with your vision. And it's important for you to take care of your life, where you want to go with your career. And of course, does that mean you'll have to prepare for interviews? Does that mean that your life won't be immediately comfy? Yes. But on the flip side of that, you're always at the effect of, you're always at the whim of forces that are so greater than you, of forces that you cannot control, and you are trying to make sense out of this chaos. And after having gone through that many times in my professional career, I recommend 0 instances of that in your life. So, if you're gonna work, why not work for the best company that aligns with your interest? Because in the end, why do we work? To enjoy our life, right? And so when you are pressured with the pressure to stress to work overtime, I hope this video helps.